This is Don't Panic, episode number 344, recorded August 18th, 2022. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on gadgets, the internet, and you. I'm Sean Jennings, joined as always by two guys who know how to make the frostiest cocktails. It's Dan Miller and Colby Rabideau. Good evening, gentlemen.
You gotta chill the glass.
You gotta chill the glass. Yeah, I'm very forgetful. I would never remember to put the glasses in the fridge.
I just keep my glasses in the freezer.
just for your coffee mugs you keep in there, just to really stress them out.
My coffee mugs. You know, it occurred to me recently.
Just keep your coffee mugs in the oven and keep the oven at 300 degrees constantly.
That's smart. Before I got one of those Ember mugs, in the morning, while I was making the coffee, I would boil water and I would put the hot water in my coffee mug and then have a hot mug and put the coffee in. But it occurred to me that in the same way I keep my cocktail glasses in the freezer, I should also keep ice cream bowls in the freezer, because I put ice cream in a bowl the other day and it starts melt. It melts instantly because it's the summer, and so it's hot and the bowls are hot compared to the ice cream. The bowls are hot. Gotta start doing that too. I need a bigger freezer.
Are you familiar with a glass freezer? There's I gotta share my screen back at you guys, but there is a device you can purchase. I know bars have them. I've never used one at a bar. But basically what it does is it uses a CO2 canister, and in about 3 to 6 seconds, it will chill your glass.
Oh, hell yeah.
And you just insert your wine glasses, beer glasses, and it'll...
Now, go back to that photo where it shows the person using it.
Oh, yeah, there's your video.
And is it safe to have your exposed hand underneath that? Yeah.
I mean, would you not trust this random seller on Amazon?
And how much is this device?
Well, on Amazon right now, without the CO2 tank, it's about $450. Which, if you're a restaurant, I don't think it's a crazy investment. Maybe for your house, that might be a bit of overkill.
Look at this name of this product.
Oh, are you talking about the instant, rapid, fast CO2 glass froster chiller cooler freezer for beer, wine, whiskey, cocktail, champagne, martini, vodka, rum, beverage drink in bars, nightclubs, pubs, restaurants, hotel, and home? It's got 4.5 stars.
Rum beverage drink. That's going to be the name of my next cocktail.
Rum beverage drink. I love that.
Now, realistically, what is the difference between this machine and a Soda Stream that it needs to be $500? It's just a thing that squirts CO2, right?
Is the CO2 in the Soda Stream cold?
I think all CO2 is kind of cold.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know. Maybe there is some maybe there's some extra chilling that goes on. But at least in my head, CO2 is if you took one of your Soda Stream canisters and pushed down on the button, your finger would be cold.
Oh, I've never used one, so I didn't know that. That's interesting.
They do have one here. It's like a countertop one that all you do is add ice and water. The glass rotates while being sprayed with ice water, and I guess that'll cool it down.
Wow.
And it's only $100.
It's a bargain.
Sure is.
Again, that bar we went to one time, the Booker and Dax place, the guy who wrote the crazy guy who wrote the book, in the book his method for chilling glasses is liquid nitrogen. So you take a little scoop of liquid nitrogen, you swirl it around in your glass, and then you toss it out.
Now that's dangerous. that will screw you up. There's actually a place
so good.
There's a place around here that makes ice cream in front of you using liquid nitrogen, where they actually will mix the raw ingredients in a bowl, pour a bunch of liquid nitrogen, and make you the freshest ice cream.
That's like Cold Stone plus, right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, this place is called Smoke and Scoops, but it's yes, and they do serve alcohol there, which is one of the few ice cream places I've seen that also serves alcohol. So
Nice.
That's interesting. Well, my deep dark secret is this is just a frosted glass. It's not actually cold at all.
what?
Yeah.
You
Sorry.
lied!
It's so cold.
Oh my god! How can I ever trust anything you do again, Dan? You've shattered my belief in you.
I don't know how it works because, like with an actual frosted glass, when you pour the water in, it gets clear where like the liquid is. I don't know what kind of crazy material science is going on there.
That's crazy.
I'm sure it's healthy for you to drink out of, whatever it is.
Yeah. Can I talk about whales real quick?
Don't let me stop you.
I think Oh wait, we didn't have the show last week.
Correct.
Right. So don't look and don't panic yet. Don't look.
Okay,
No
I'm not looking.
spoilers.
I'm not looking.
We arrive on San Juan Island and we get to the like Airbnb we're staying at, and the woman who owns the Airbnb is in the driveway and she like is pulling out and she says, "Oh, like follow me. Like J, K, and L pod are going down the coast." And we're like, "What's that?" And we follow her and we quickly surmise it's the orca whales, the killer whales. And so immediately upon arrival, we go down and we see the orca whales from a pretty good distance, like, I don't know, 200 yards, 300 yards maybe. And my first impression of them was that they are so loud. They just don't give a fuck. And I was talking to someone and they're like, "Oh yeah, because they don't have any predators. They're the apex predator of the ocean, so it doesn't matter how loud they are. If they're not hunting, they can do whatever they want." Like, that's interesting. The blowhole thing that you see, it's so loud. It's like an explosion. So that was cool. We got some tail slaps and that was great. But then the thing that really blew my mind was back at that place we were staying at, you could see the ocean from, I don't know, it must have been 2 miles away at that point. And you could hear the orca whales if they were in the area, because you'd hear the little explosions and you'd look and then you could see like teeny tiny orca whales swimming along the ocean. So that was cool. And that happened 3 or 4 times while we were there, which was crazy. So if you want to see orca whales, go to San Juan Island in August. We looked up the stats. Statistically, on any given day, you have about a 30% chance. So with 4 out of 10, we beat the odds. We were statistically lucky. Yeah, but then we saw this. We went on an actual whale watching tour. And at this point, we were like, well, we've already seen the orca whales, the rarest of whales. So like, I'll settle for a sea lion or something. I don't need anything crazy. And we get in the boat and the guy books it for like 45 minutes to Canada. And then there's this morass of boats. And there's this one boat. It's, I don't know, it couldn't have fit more than 50 people if you stuffed them in. Like, there were maybe 30 people on it. And it's like really listing to one side. And then you see a bunch of people run, and then it's listing to the other side. And this humpback whale was like sticking its fin up out of the water, like right underneath the boat. And also, it was doing the blowhole thing, which our guide said looks cool, smells terrible because it's not water, it's whale snot. Which I didn't know. I did not know that. So apparently everyone would have wanted to take a shower on that boat. So it didn't come up to us, but we did get to see it do the leap out of the water, which was truly bananas. Like, it's one I've watched, Planet Earth so many times, and you see the whales, like, oh, those whales look pretty big. But to see like a school bus jump out of the water under its own propulsion is like pretty crazy. I learned lots of fun whale facts. Are you ready for some whale facts?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, we don't know why whales jump out of the water, but almost all whales do. It's just a thing that they do. It could be because it stuns fish. That's theorized about why they do the tail slaps on the water. It's like a hunting thing. It could be because you remember reading in like elementary school about the little teeny tiny fish that like attach to the whale and feed off of it. It could be a way to get those things off. Or it could be a way to be like, hey, look how much energy I have. I'm the size of a school bus, and I have enough energy today to jump out of the water. Stay away from me. So that was interesting. The thing that really blew my mind, though, is we went to the whale museum on the island, and they had like an office whiteboard sized corkboard, not huge, and on it was every orca whale in Northwest Washington, Canada area, all of them, how they're related to each other, when they were born, when they were last seen, what their names are,
Wow.
how you can what distinguishing characteristics they have. And sadly, this is only possible because there are so few of them. And they're born so rarely. But I didn't know that we knew so much about them. That was and the whole matriarchal society thing. I watched Blackfish, but I don't remember them going that deep into the wild side of the orca whales. But they live with their mothers their entire lives, and they have these matriarchal pods. It was pretty crazy.
Well, do you know?
There's two types. Oh, go ahead.
Do you know how they're able to track the whales so specifically?
With lots of... Oh.
Well, no, this is... A lot of people don't know this. Every time a whale logs into Instagram or Facebook, it places a cookie. And you'd be shocked at what they can track about you. Facebook has all these charts. They can track... Okay, sorry. I had to get a lame joke in there.
The whale's equivalent of their user agent string and everything is their fins. The fins are apparently very uniquely shaped, and sometimes they have cuts on them, and they're different heights. So the photos of all the whales on the corkboard were just of their fins, so you could distinguish them. Also, they can live to be over 100 years old. I didn't know that. There are whales alive today that were kind of alive before humans really were interfering with orca whales, which is crazy to think about.
So how many of them did you harpoon for the blubber?
0.
What? How else are you going to light your lamps?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so I went deep on whales. I did some deep whale research on Wikipedia last weekend. It was pretty cool.
Nice. No, it looks really interesting.
Go if you're ever... This would be my new top 3 things to do in Washington is go to this island and see some whales.
That's cool. I remember once it wasn't in San Francisco, but in the Bay Area somewhere at the beach, there were dolphins. Saw dolphins in real life. I thought that was novel.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
This is one of my hypothetical curiosity type questions. Get to know you two a little bit better. So, Dan hung out with the whales, had a great time. If you guys could have a personal interaction with any type of animal on the planet, and by personal interaction, I mean you could touch it, pet it, it's not going to kill you, but you get to have a one-on-one opportunity to hang out with any animal of your choice. Which animal would you choose?
I think I have my answer. It's going to be a little obvious, but here's my explanation. The animal heretofore that I've had the most fun hanging out with has been my aunt and uncle's German Shepherd because it's very smart.
Okay.
And this is not my answer, but it's way more fun to interact with a smart animal than a dumb one. Just going to... At least for me, I'm just going to put that out there. Therefore, knowing that orca whales are probably the smartest animal, even smarter than dolphins and monkeys, I think I would, if I knew that one wasn't going to kill me. I saw this video of 2 orca whales playing with a great white shark. And again, the great white shark looks very small in comparison to an orca whale. They're just it's like a cat playing with a mouse. They're just flinging it around, and the shark's bleeding, and it tries to run away, and they go and grab it again. And it's yeah, but they don't really eat sharks. They just kill them for fun, and dolphins too, which is pretty fucked up. So, anyways,
well, to be fair,
if I
humans
knew
do that too.
Sorry,
we kill sharks for fun too. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We like to think of animals, though, and I guess this is what made it so interesting to me. We like to think of animals as machines almost. like a goat. It just wanders around and eats grass and poops, and it's basically not that much different than a plant, really.
Yeah.
But when you get to that point where you're like, why do whales jump out of the water? Why are they killing the dolphins and then just leaving their uneaten carcasses around? The dolphins can't harm the whales. Like, I don't know. We're dealing with a higher order being here that does random stuff.
I love it. Good answer. Colby, what about you?
This is not my answer, but I just can't stop thinking about Tiger King. For some reason, this question straight to Tiger King.
So your takeaway from Tiger King was, I want to do that.
Right. No, that's what I mean. It's not my answer, but that's like what's lodged in my head.
But what if you knew that the giant cats would not attack you, and you knew it was safe? Well, you're not starting an industry to exploit them. You're just hanging out with one once.
Yeah, it's just one time. I'm not saying you have to like own one.
That sounds cool. If I wasn't going to be injured, maybe like an octopus would be cool. I hear they're
that's a good idea.
Yeah, they're pretty smart.
Yeah, I think a giant cat would have been my second preference because I do really like regular cats. They're fun to pet. Imagine if you could actually cuddle with like a leopard. I think it would be like super cozy. And if you knew it wasn't going to bite your head off.
Right.
I have enough cat in my life. I don't need any more. He certainly feels like a leopard when he's sleeping on top of me in the middle of the night.
Say, blink twice, Sean, if your cat made you say that.
I got a few war wounds here and there. That's okay. No, I would pick a hippopotamus.
Oh,
because they're big, but they live most of their life underwater. But they don't actually swim. They walk along the floor of the water and propel themselves that way. They don't really swim. Did you know that hippos, they can open their jaws 180 degrees? And you can like chuck food in their mouth. So I would want to hang out with a hippo. You can like take a watermelon and like, 3-point ball it right into their mouth. So I'd want to hang out with a hippo. They seem very nice. Although they're not. They're actually incredibly dangerous, but
sure.
Yeah.
A recurring theme.
I was also trying to think of like what would be a super rare animal that like almost no one has ever hung out with.
Well, I think like imagine, because like I said, it can't injure you. So imagine like you got to pick the most dangerous animals. Like you've really got, because then people are gonna like, I'm gonna hang out with a shark, or I'm gonna hang out with a
snakes.
Like a scorpion or something.
It would be cool to look at a scorpion up close.
Are you guys scared by bugs and snakes? Because they don't bother me at all.
I don't think so. I'm annoyed by bugs.
Sure.
And I don't think I've seen someone who's scared of snakes. Friend of the show, Mike. Shout outs to that time we rode bikes across the walkway over the Hudson, and he encountered a snake and then booked it. Never seen someone bike so fast. It was Tour de France levels. So I can't say that I'm afraid of snakes. I would move away from almost any snake because I don't feel so confident as to know which ones are poisonous and not, especially here. I don't know. Are there poisonous snakes in the PNW? No idea. I'm actually going to Google that right now. That's something I should know
when you're out in the woods. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't feel bothered by the bugs and snakes that we have in this area of the world.
Yeah, but it's a good place for that.
Right. Mostly they're no big deal. However, I do dislike house centipedes.
Yeah.
I just don't
unpleasant.
Like the way that they move and behave and the speed at which they zip around. I could do with it, if we're being honest. Also, like, I've heard that they bite. Like, they'll bite you and it hurts. I've never been bitten by one, but like,
that's because you're so vigilant.
Well, right. So I was during the pandemic. This was during the pandemic. I had in my apartment, there was a place where the previous tenants had like wall mounted a TV much too high for any TV to ever be wall mounted and like not hurt your body to watch. And so there's one of those like TV wall mount outlet things like way up high. And so I obviously did not use that same TV configuration. So that big outlet was just above the where the couch was at the time. And I had put like a picture in front of it. I was sitting on the couch watching TV one day with my arm out, and something like all of a sudden I felt something fall on my arm. It was a pretty robust house centipede, which I like flung across the room and then proceeded to smush.
And then lit your apartment on fire and burned it to the ground. You had enough.
Right. I did go on a like gaps and cracks ceiling rampage after that.
That's got to be a bar name or something.
I think it's like you can go to the hardware store and buy stuff called like gap and crack filler or something. It's like a spray can of like insulation foam. Gross. House centipedes.
Well, guys, any technology updates in your lives before we talk about the technology updates in the world at large?
Do we talk about my new computer? Yes.
We did. Did we talk about drones?
Drones?
No,
So
I
I'm considering getting a drone license for work.
You have
Wow.
to get a license?
Yes and no. So if you're flying under a certain size, and if you're doing it only for personal use, you do not have to get a license. But the second someone compensates you for doing it, you become a professional and you have to be licensed.
Mm.
And since I'm doing it for my job, it qualifies. So if we're considering buying one, and I would have to get licensed to do so.
How rigorous is the drone licensing process?
I'm told it's quite intense. It's a 4 to 6 week course with a test at the end that's like 200 or something questions that's timed, and you have to score like a 90 or 95% to pass.
Damn.
So it's quite. I know somebody who got one. It is quite rigorous, but there isn't any. It's not like a driving test where you have to like show someone you know how to do it. If you pass the test, you get your license.
And what are you going to use this for?
For flying a drone. So, because we're in the construction space, we do have some products that are used high up or even on roofs. So we're going to fly it around, take some pictures and videos of job sites.
I see. And
Yeah.
it just so happens that this responsibility falls to the marketing manager.
Well, listen, I'm the go-to tech guy. Like if we buy some piece of equipment, usually I'm consulted. And so we have cameras and microphones and all kinds of equipment that I'm the one who uses and edits and operates. So sort of falls on my shoulders.
That's great.
But I'm not complaining. Not complaining. I like fun things, so
That's awesome.
excited to maybe try that out. So I'll have to let you know how it goes should we ever pull the trigger. But yeah, other than that, I don't think
I made I upgraded my new computer already, which I didn't really. I took the hard drives from the old computer and I put them in the new computer. And have you seen what are they called? The NVMe? Is that what they're called? Or does NVMe drives? The new super duper fast flash drives? Flash drives used to be like thin things that looked like even tinier hard drives, but they had like the metal case. They looked very similar. Now they look like RAM turned on its side, basically. And so now if you want to add more hard drives to your computer, you open it up and you just plug these things in. There's no cables. There's no like you got to plug the power cable in and plug the data cable in. It's so much easier. Yeah, and it just worked.
that was great. You must be getting crazy speeds on that.
Crazy speed.
I haven't tested the hard drive speeds, but it is very fast. And I figured out how to fix my fans. My fans were very loud. It turns out it's because they were running at full blast constantly. And you have to change that if that's not how you want it to work.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was like, wow, I knew that, I've been living in this Apple world for so long, but yeah. That's my technology update.
Nice. I don't have a technology update, but I do own a car now.
Whoa! Burying the lead.
Yeah.
Does it have CarPlay?
Is it what is it? A Tesla or a Rivian or Polestar?
No is the answer to all of those questions, including does it have CarPlay? Unfortunately, no. We were talking about getting a car, maybe because it would be convenient to like go to Rhode Island and do stuff. I don't know. Why does anybody get a car? And then my dad was getting rid of one of his, like, from his work. The work was getting rid of a car. Like he's on his like retirement trajectory. So like downsizing is happening, and he has like a date in mind when things will be over. And so he's like, well, this car isn't going to last until then, so I need to get a new one. So he was like, do you just want this? I was like, okay. So now we have a car. I went to the RMV to do all that jazz, and it was like being in a computer. Like I felt like I was the data.
You were the ones and zeros,
right? Passed around. It turns out a thing I learned: a business cannot give a car as a gift in the state of Massachusetts. Not allowed. I tried.
Although
it's like,
wait a second, it should be possible, right? Wouldn't it just be? It's not a gift. It would be a taxable event. They would be paying you in car.
Right. So they can give you a car for $0 or like $1 or whatever, but you still have to pay sales tax on the car, and you pay sales tax on the estimated value of the car or whatever. But if it was a person, like if my dad himself had been the owner of the car and not my dad via my dad's like company, he could have given me the car and I could have taken possession of it without paying $600 to the state of Massachusetts.
Well, I was also thinking, aren't you technically an employee of the company?
Oh, right. Aren't you like the CFO or something?
No, I mean, I was the vice president for legal reasons when I was in college.
Was that your official title, vice president for legal reasons?
Yeah, I mean,
not suspicious at all.
That's the full title. Vice president was acceptable. But when I moved to California, I got fired and my sister got hired as the vice
devastating
president. I was no longer geographically convenient enough to be the vice president of Natural Resource Services Incorporated.
Well, and also it wouldn't make sense to give you the car because the car is still on the company books.
Right.
It's taxes, guys. You just can't win.
See,
especially not in
Washington,
Massachusetts.
We don't have, I guess we do have sales tax, but there are so many taxes that we don't have, but they make up for it always in other areas. So what they do in this case is that they would just like, oh, you're registering a car for the first time. That'll be $400 in registration fees, please.
Right.
You got the license plate, and you got the registration sticker, and then the title transfer. Yeah.
So that was like the registration fee was $25.
Oh, I wish.
you know.
And then the way they really get you is it's surprise. That's an annual fee here. Every time you renew your registration.
Damn.
I guess not the title transfer, but everything else.
Excise tax here, yearly excise tax here is also wild. On my new car, I just got the bill. It was like $600 a year.
Like, what is that? I still don't understand what that.
They're penalizing you for having a car.
I see.
I really don't know.
Is that the thing? Connecticut had this too, where like each year some jurisdiction that you're a part of knows what the current value of your car is and charges you some like weird math equation based on that.
Yep,
annually?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I
don't have that here, but instead you just get a flat fee every time you have to go to the DMV.
Just get hammered. Colby, I do have to ask. Now, obviously, this is going to be a Massachusetts series of references I'm about to make, but obviously Massachusetts has a number of locally iconic specialty license plates you can buy. There's the one with the whales. You can get Red Sox or Bruins plates. You can get what are some of the other Massachusetts specialty plates? And each one of them is like they donate to different things based on what you get. And my question for
Massachusetts was the first state to issue license plates?
I actually did not know that. That's very interesting. Did you get any kind of special plate, or did you just stick with Spirit of America?
I got the regular one, the standard red and white Spirit of America.
They don't have the special ones on Wikipedia. That's too bad.
I think on the RMV site they do.
But I do like these the photos of all the license plates through the years for each state. That's a good vein of Wikipedia articles to go down if you're curious someday.
Oh, look at that. I didn't even know they had all of these. Okay, now I'm just getting distracted, but I'm going to share my tab here.
Sharks.
Because it's really you can get the Basketball Hall of Fame plates with Blackstone Valley, Boston Celtics, Bruins, Cape Ann. I don't even know what that is. Oh, the Cape Cod plates. These are pretty iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Choose Life. Okay. Conquer Cancer. Breast Cancer. Some of these I've never seen before in person. Oh, the Fish and Wildlife. Seen that one. I mean, think about free. You could get the Freemason plates.
Yo.
You should have gotten the fresh and locals.
Colby, you're a farmer.
Technically, yeah.
I swear to God, I've lived here my whole life. I've never seen Invest in Children. I've seen that one. Oh my God, Martha's Vineyard.
A dozen tomatoes this year.
I've seen the Animal Coalition, Nantucket. There's got to be some zanier ones here. Olympic Spirit. I'm surprised that still exists. Plymouth. Yeah, so definitely. And they're not, it's like $40 a plate. It's not that expensive. The whale one. This one's pretty classic. For the Environmental Trust. That one you'll see a lot. The striped bass plate.
Wow.
Nice. Maybe next time. This time I was too concerned about like all the other stuff that was going on.
That
I was dealing
probably
with and
smart.
Still screwed up. Right. Taxes.
I have a license plate fun fact. At least in Washington, if you have a license plate with multiple 4s in the serial number, you'll notice that the horizontal line in the 4 is at a different place on each 4. And the reason is because otherwise, if you had two 4s next to each other, it would make the license plate too easy to bend because it would be like a divot all on the same line. I don't know if other states do that too.
I would have never thought of that.
Interesting. Now, Dan, does Washington have like inspections? Do you have to get your car inspected? Because
no.
Laura said Minnesota doesn't have inspections either, and I was like,
yeah. So famously, Washington, this maybe not famous. Within Washington, this is infamous because, and I was not really here for this, but in 2019, I think, it used to be that Washington State did all of its own inspections. There was none of this like go to a random garage and have some guy hurriedly sign off on a piece of paper. You had to go to the state-run inspection thingy site, and there are many of them, but they closed that down in 2019 and just stopped doing inspections altogether. Unless, I think if you register a car for the first time and it's like older than a certain amount, you have to get it inspected, but otherwise you don't. And then COVID happened. And then a firefighter was, early in like January 2020 in Seattle, back when Seattle was ground zero for COVID. Lol. He was this random firefighter who was like just been promoted to like be a person who's not just literally a firefighter anymore. They're like, hey, why don't you deal with this COVID thing? He's like, okay. What if we took all of the vehicle inspection sites and made them drive-through testing centers? Because they already were drive-throughs. They had multiple lanes and like people would line up and they had like the person go into the car, and they did that, and that was like how you got all of your COVID tests done in Washington for at least like 2020 and 2021. I don't think they do that anymore, and then I think they've subsequently torn them all down. But that was like a crazy coincidence that those things had just been discontinued and had not yet been torn down or repurposed in another way.
I was going to quiz you guys. Can you guess which are the 5 states with the highest fatal car crashes per 100 million vehicle miles traveled?
Huh.
Interesting. So does that mean it's probably not, it's not necessarily more populous places or something? It's
they
places
take
where
that
people
into
drive
account
further. Oh, I see. So it's corrected.
I want to guess like Wisconsin, Nebraska.
Nope.
No? Nevada.
I would say these are an interesting combination of places people actually live, but places you would think there are a lot of car deaths. Because I guarantee you, places with higher death rates overall.
Atlanta, Georgia.
No.
Columbus, Ohio.
These are by state. No.
Oh, by state. Oh, wow. Florida.
Texas.
Oh, Florida. It's got to be Florida.
Nope.
Not all the old people of Florida who can't see anything?
Nope. I should look up the overall, but I would say several of these, again, I would say probably have pretty high death rates in general.
That was another reason I guessed Florida.
I'm trying. You're not far off.
Well, let's go the other way. Let's go like Missouri.
Did I hear Mississippi?
I said Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana is 3. Mississippi is 2.
Missouri.
Nope.
Oh, damn. Oh, not you, Siri.
I'll put you out of your misery here. Number 1, South Carolina. Number 4, Arizona. Number 5, West Virginia. And I'll leave you with this. Can you name the 5 safest states?
Now I'm going to go the other way. Alaska.
No.
Really? Hawaii.
Montana.
Nope.
Nebraska.
Nope.
California.
I will say 4 of these all basically touch.
They don't like the New England states.
Okay, maybe.
It seems hard to believe given how fucked up the roads are in New England.
Yeah, but maybe that like hardens us.
I see. Yeah, you're right. That's why I was guessing Nebraska, because my thought was you've been going straight for 3.5 hours and you're totally zoned out.
Well, that's part of it. Is these states don't have 8-lane highways. You know, I think that you can't get very fast because if you go really fast, you're just going to hit the end of the state. There's not very far for you to go. No, your top 5 safest: Massachusetts, number 1, Minnesota, 2, New Jersey, Rhode Island, New York.
New Jersey?
Massachusetts and Minnesota.
Yep.
New Jersey is the least safe place I've ever driven.
Well, statistically, no. Although those are fatalities, so maybe they just beat people up. They don't kill them.
Dan, remember the time we were on the highway in New Jersey and I inadvertently directed you to drive into the exact change only?
I don't remember that you did that, but I was just telling Lena about that. I think when we were driving back from the island. Yeah.
All I remember is like there was like toll booths with like no cars in them. So we were like, well, let's do that one. And like the empty subway car in New York, like there was a reason there were no people at the toll booth.
Yes.
And so we had I don't know. I feel like we spent like 2 or 3 minutes like frantically searching your car for change, and we did find exact change.
Yeah, which was amazing.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't have much cause to have lots of change in that car. But I guess more so back then than we would today.
Right. Wild.
Guys, maybe we should squeeze in a little bit of tech news. Is there any Couple stories. It's the doldrums of summer. Not a ton going on, but I think there's some interesting stories here.
Let's
if you
talk
want to
about
pick
the iRobot stuff.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, there's not a lot to the story other than the fact it happens, but it doesn't mean we can't talk about it. Roomba robot maker iRobot has been purchased for $1.7 billion by Amazon. Dave Limp, SVP of Amazon Devices, says, quote, "Customers love iRobot products, and I'm excited to work with the iRobot team to invent in ways that make customers' lives easier and more enjoyable." No word on how it'll be integrated with Amazon, or even if it'll operate as a separate company. We don't really know much other than the fact that they're going to buy them.
Now I'm imagining a Roomba that like wakes itself up and like drives over to you and like bounces into your foot like, "Hey, your Amazon package is on the way." Your Amazon package.
Well, that's basically the Astro robot that Amazon rolled out a little while back, the little wheel-around robot with the screen on it. So, yeah, entirely possible.
Is Amazon interested in the home only because Alexa was actually successful? Or, right? Because I struggle to see, like, the benefit here, except insofar as that, like, well, Alexa's successful and this would make Alexa better. It's like, yeah, that's true, but I still don't really see how Alexa is furthering Amazon's goal, which, as far as I can tell, is be present in as many transactions on the internet as possible. Or actually, not even on the internet, just be present in as many transactions as possible.
I mean, it is interesting
with Eero, right? Like, why Eero? I mean, I guess Alexa, but like, why?
I mean, it's got to be to me. It's if you think about Apple. They went and made phones and iPads and computers, but they've made $1 gazillion off of apps. And I just wonder if Amazon's theory is if we just get in front of as many people, as many opportunities as we can, transactions will follow. Now, how will that work with your vacuum cleaner? I'm not sure. Maybe they'll auto-order trash bags or something. I'm not sure. But I think, even they have, I sometimes even forget exactly how many smart home devices they rolled out with, but they've got cameras and thermostats and all kinds of
and the cameras make sense because that you could see how that would, and smart door locks and all that stuff, you can see how it would integrate with them delivering you things that you bought, and then you thinking, oh, when I get the option, I'm gonna buy things from Amazon because they'll put it right in my garage. But the vacuum cleaner, it's a good point though. Auto ordering the replacement filters and everything. I could see that being a benefit.
Yeah, I mean, again, they own Ring, they own Blink, they own, they're just trying to get to the space. What's interesting to me is I think Amazon is uniquely positioned, if they want to go to it, into the lower cost smart device space. Whereas I think Google and some of these others, they're pitching $250 cameras. I think the Amazon Smart Thermostat is a good example. It's a $50 price point, much more competitive than a Nest or other similar items. So I just wonder if they can make it a little more, some of these devices more approachable for the non-techie set in a way other companies haven't. They have a smart soap dispenser? Did we talk about that on the show?
I remember the smart salt cellar or salt shaker or whatever. Pepper grinder. I don't remember that.
Yeah, apparently it's $35 and it shoots out the exact amount of soap. And it counts to make sure you wash your hands, and it's got a speaker in it so you can listen to music while you wash your hands. This is wild.
No wasted time.
You can tell your Echo to play a song on your soap dispenser. Oh, and it'll do a little bit of soap. It'll do a lot of soap. I might have to get one of these. This is stupid. And you recharge it. That's wild. Huh. All right. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to get distracted. Yeah, in the short term, I don't know what this really means, but it's interesting. And I've always wondered why Amazon doesn't acquire more companies. They certainly have the money, and I think if they wanted, it's probably much better for them to buy Roomba, iRobot, than it is to build their own.
Yeah, that's true. Roomba's been a thing for so long.
Yeah.
Well, they're kind of the Kleenex of robot vacuums. I mean, you say Roomba, and it's really a household name. There's definitely value in that. Like I said, I wonder if Amazon will come out with a lower priced alternative, because Roomba is I would argue, more of a premium vacuum brand.
Right.
But interesting. They seem to have some technology worth acquiring. Any other stories in here? Snap canceling the Pixie drone. Cameo live calls with celebrities.
Seems like a bad idea.
You want to talk about that? Let's talk about that.
Okay, yeah.
Cameo, the service where you can get a weird, awkward video from a celebrity talking to you, they're not really rolling it out. They're updating it and how it works. It's called Cameo Live. It offers a 10-minute live video call with a celebrity, which customers can choose to have either as a one-on-one, they can send it as a gift, or take part in with up to 9 friends. It has prices can range anywhere from $250 up to $2,000 for the 10 minutes. I, before the show, went through and scrolled and looked to see all the awesome celebrities you can talk to on here. And spoiler alert, there really weren't many.
What would be the one if someone forced you, Sean, to talk to one of these celebrities? Which one would you pick?
One of the one that's actually on Cameo?
Yeah.
Boy, who was on here that I saw? I'm scrolling through now. It really is a mix of like YouTube people, reality show people. The Carol Baskin from Tiger King is on here.
Oh, there you go, Colby.
Old celebrity athletes, retired athletes. There are a bunch of them on here. And there is like the occasional actor. What was it? Who's the guy from Newman from Seinfeld? Or Ernie Hudson from the Ghostbusters is on here. $750 for 10 minutes. Wayne Knight. That's what I'm thinking of. Wayne Knight. $990 for 10 minutes.
Wow.
So,
man, that's a good business.
Honestly, I mean, I don't know how many bookings they get, but for 10 minutes, it's not too bad. And yeah, no, it's mostly just like people you've just never heard of. Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars. Maybe we should sign up.
Right. Wow. $700.
George Wendt from Cheers, $375 for 10 minutes. Kenny G, $1,000 for 10 minutes.
You get your own Kenny G song.
That's awesome. I wonder if he would play for you. There also are, what's weird is there are a lot of impersonators where I'm like, I get buying a recorded cameo from an impersonator. They're like, it's me, Tom Cruise, and I'm here to wish you happy. Like, I get that. What would you talk to an impersonator about for 10 minutes?
I don't
Do they try and answer questions as the person, or like, do they?
Do you ask them like, "Oh, what's it like to be an impersonator?" I don't.
Right.
Do you like doing this?
Wow.
Yeah, I can't think of a single celebrity I would want to talk to for hundreds of dollars for 10 minutes. Although Dean Norris from Breaking Bad, $900 for 10 minutes.
Which one? Who is that? Which one is that?
He's the bald guy who was the DEA agent.
Oh, sure.
Tony Hawk. Sure. You can talk to skateboarder Tony Hawk, $750 for 10 minutes.
Wow. Now, who do you think sets the price?
Oh, the celebrity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure they can pick any amount they want.
Right. So, like, we could join Cameo and set our own price.
Well, listen, if disgraced former governor of Illinois Rod Blagojevich can get $300 for 10 minutes, I think we will do okay.
How did you not pick him, Sean? I think he
would have been
really Yeah, I think
Well, you know
he
what?
should have a
I would have
lot.
asked him about his time on Celebrity Apprentice, hosted by Donald Trump. I'm sure there's fascinating stories there. Billy D. Williams, $900. Ask him all about Star Wars and those Colt 45 commercials, and how he was Harvey Dent in the first Batman movie, and then they fired him. This is great. You can get Michael Cohen, disgraced Trump attorney. I mean, this is awful.
Now here's an idea. Could you, with the power of technology, buy 2 cameos and force 2 celebrities to talk to each other at the end of the room?
And not tell them. Oh my God, that is someone like a YouTube prankster should do that. That's a really funny idea. I love that.
Like,
Maybe
what
we
would
should
Rod
pivot
Blagojevich
into a prank show.
and Michael Cohen have to talk about? I would love to be a fly in the hole in that room, and then you could be.
Oh my God, imagine, because you can have up to 10 people in these. Imagine if you invited like 9 different celebrities. Like, just totally like just random people, like, you know, athletes, actors, just like, hey guys, for the next 10 minutes, you guys hang out. I'm just going to watch.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I got to go. You guys, you take it from here.
That is such a good idea.
That's awesome. I'm like, I literally am getting about as much enjoyment just reading the list of possible celebrities than I am actually talking to one of them. Boston Bruins goalie Jeremy Swayman. Colby, I'm your big Bruins fan.
It's not untrue, I guess. Technically.
I mean, we got to get off of this because I'm not even joking. I could just looking at just a lot of people 90 Day Fiance around here. Yeah, anyway. So that's Cameo calls, guy. Maybe a great gift or an anniversary for your loved one. You can get the situation for. You can get a guy who looks like Ed here and
So you market for that, like, you tell someone you came you didn't, and you just got a. Is that for it?
I'm pretty disappointed. Well, it's just like date. You pick up to 3 times, and then there's actually like a section where it's like, what do you want to talk about? You write the celebrity, like, these are things I want to talk about in our hangout. So I don't even know what you would say there. Be like, I brought this as a joke.
No, like the normal product is you submit a web and get back a video of celebrity saying something. So I watch hitters are on there. Because if it isn't on there, you can look like a video.
That would kind of be a funny joke to play in person for 10 minutes is just like really aggressively elaborate. But I'm in a person, I'm like, you got
now it is a impersonating on Cameo, and you got them a phone call. Is that what you're saying?
So, oh my God, it's of Creed. Okay, $15 for 10 minutes. You can talk to Spider-Man. Oh,
Okay.
Worth buying.
Yeah. A couple weeks, months ago, anyone watch? You could have a you play task, but get some like, okay, you all have
they
the best joke.
I'm my assistant. Give me a favor and just like
Johnson, on your behalf, I think there's actually a lot this could be used. Like a bunch of fancy reservations.
Yeah, you know.
You can speak to 2 for you 10 minutes.
I have to,
Let's take the part of the show where you think we want. I'll go for Nick. They basically took faux Oreos, but they're like a little ice cream sandwich and only 60 calories each. Flavors. I've had the vanilla blondie, and they're both fantastic. So, if you're looking for cool ice cream treat, the problem is if I buy a pint, I eat the pint. So with these, I just wrap one and I eat it, and it's small and satiable. Like I'm add minis in your grocery. Who's picking Mimestream?
me.
I
I put it in Colby's name. Sorry.
Yeah, you confused me. What's up? This I think the 6th email client we've picked on the show.
Yes. Last week, Colby picked Thunderbird, and I really wanted to tell him to try Mimestream, but then I had the presence of mind to just save it for my pick for the next week. So this week, I'm picking Mimestream. It only works for Gmail, though, which I guess wouldn't work for Colby. But if you have work email, it might work. It is very minimalist, does exactly what you want, very fast, supports all the Gmail features that you would expect. Yeah, it's the easiest one to use so far in my experience. It's never had like a weird slowdown like I had with Airmail. Is that what that one was called I used before that?
Mm-hmm.
It's distressingly free, but they claim that they will start charging for it at some point. Yeah, Mac only.
Nice. Cool. Mimestream. Check it out for Mac OS. Colby, I'm absolutely fascinated by this pick. You got to tell me about it.
So, my old toaster oven that I've had rewind. When I moved to California, I was like, you know what? I'm an adult now. I'm going to purchase a toaster oven. Very excited about it. I think it's a better than a toaster. I got whatever some wire cutter pick toaster. Me when I moved here from, and it got broken, but I got them to like I just and they were they just and the same, but it still works. It's weird. Button to start the toaster just got less sensitive, slow enough that it was like you would have time time it speed things took the phone control together internet
Wow.
Wild.
Yeah. The older one to the point where one third size roll actual food in we do like a toaster oven is turning on the gas. So all the time. Doesn't program it to things like you can like once the proving automatically start baking and then like or something. Those things is always connected to watch the you always on your phone finish cooking. Super unnecessary. I always is cooking something like notification. Like, oh, your Joule oven is. Yeah, it's fully unnecessary, but pretty good. Wi-Fi stuff aside, it's a great toaster oven. It's really having a really big toaster oven.
Have you done any of the like guided recipes or any of the?
No, we haven't tried any of the wacky stuff yet. You're also it's supposed to be able to dehydrate stuff too. Like it can go. I guess it must be like a super low temperature, and like use the convection or something to just like dehydrate fruits.
Wow. Well, you can't go wrong with the Breville, and this thing is the highest of tech. So very cool. The Joule Oven Air Fryer Pro. That's great. Let us know how it goes. I'm curious. If you use any of the additional fancy features like telling the smart assistant to turn on your oven. Curious how it goes.
It does. So it doesn't let you. You can't turn on the oven fully from your phone. Like you can do it and like it pops up on the screen like ready to cook, but then it makes you press the button, which is probably smart.
Yeah.
But, it's also an air fryer. That was the thing, which I think it's not clear to me what the difference between an air fryer and a convection toaster oven is to begin with, but it's right. That's
totally the same.
That's
no, it's the same thing.
It does come with like an air fryer basket thing that works pretty well. It's cool.
Nice. All right. We'll check that out. We'll have a link to that and all the pics on our website. Make sure you check that out. Don'tPanic.io. The episodes will be there as well. Of course, you can subscribe wherever you get podcasts. Just search Don't Panic. Look for the big red button. Video version on YouTube. And, of course, you can get a hold of us, don'tpanicshow@gmail.com, or tweet at us at Don't Panic Show. Guys, anything else this evening?
I don't think so.
No? All is good in the world. Well, this is great. A pleasure catching up with you guys. A pleasure catching up with the listeners out in the world. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. On behalf of Colby and Dan, I'm Sean. Thanks for being here. We'll see